Okay, here's one more essay on the short story from the house on Mango Street. Everybody has dreams. Dreams about what they want to accomplish or dreams about things they wish they had. Sometimes these dreams are attainable and sometimes it's just wishful thinking. Now, sometimes these dreams are attainable is really nice. The use of the word attainable is good. But then you say, and sometimes it's just wishful thinking. Now, of course, it's here is misspelt. It should be it is or it apostrophe s, it's, okay? However, what is it? It's an ambiguous pronoun here. So I'd rather have something like this. Sometimes these dreams are attainable, and sometimes they, meaning the dreams, are just wishful thinking, or stem from wishful thinking, or are results of wishful thinking, are a result of wishful thinking, something like that. Or better yet, say sometimes these dreams are attainable and sometimes these dreams are just wishful thinking. Some people wish for fame and fortune, but others, probably just a typo, but others just wish they had the bare necessities. Now, when you have two complete sentences like you do here, and you're going to put a but in the middle, or an and, or yet for that matter, we should put a comma before it. In the story, The House on Mango Street, a child is wishing for a house. Not an apartment they have to share with only one bedroom, with only one bathroom, but a real house, with many rooms and bathrooms. The three main reasons for the child to want a real house are that they are always hearing about how wonderful having a real house is. They never had one before, and that it is a form of normality. So basically you're saying you have three reasons, which is good. You're stating the three reasons clearly in your introduction. One, they're hearing about other real houses. They never had one before, so it's their first time. And it's something normal that everybody has. So that's good. However, if you take a quick look here, you're going to find that you use the word they here to mean the family, probably, the girl's family. Then here, you say that they are always hearing, which is also the family. And then that they never had one before. Now, you didn't use the word family, or the girl and her family, or the girl and her parents, or the girl, her parents, and her brothers and sisters, something to identify who they are. You should have written that first, and then refer to them as they. Most kids hear stories from their parent about how great things are now and how lucky the children of the 20th century are to have access to all the brilliant new inventions. Either make it from their parents or make it from one of their parents if you want to refer to actually one person. That isn't the case for the child living on Mango Street. Their parents, here you probably mean her, so you say her parents, tell her all about how one day they, the family, will buy a house and everything will be great. All they hear are stories. Who are they? Are you talking about she again? About the girl or the child? So all she hears are stories. But they never get to receive the greatness that their parents are talking about. Now, there here again is misspelt. It should be there, EI. Okay? That's the there that you mean here. Again, you're talking about they and them a lot. All of these are called ambiguous pronouns. They're unclear who you're talking about. If you mean the girl, then you should say she. Okay? If you mean the family, then you should say it if you're referring to the family as one thing. Or if you're referring to the family as separate people, then you can use they. That's correct also. You need to use more nouns than pronouns, okay? Try to make it clear to the reader who exactly you're talking about. Don't overuse pronouns like they. The child states, they always told us one day we would move into a house, a real house of ours. To them, a house is an unattainable dream that they wish will come true. Okay, nice ending. The concluding sentence was good, and it's good that you used a quote to prove your opinion. That is very important. Second body paragraph. The child from the story, The House on Mango Street, has never had a house to call their own. Again, you can't talk about a child and say their. If you don't know if this child is a boy or a girl, then you should use the pronouns he or she, or his, or her, or him, or her, and actually write he, o, r, she, or his, space, o, r, space, her. Don't choose one. If you know that she's a girl, if it says so in the story, then refer to her as she. If you know it's a boy, then refer to him as he. Or better yet, just use the child. All they had are apartments with landlords always coming around or places with barely functional bathrooms. On one occasion, when they had to leave a house, the child states it's because. Again, here you're writing the wrong form of it's. You mean it is because, which is it apostrophe s. And I prefer that you write it is. Don't use the abbreviation. States it is because the water pipes broke and the landlord wouldn't fix them because the house was too old. We were using the washroom next door and carrying water over in empty milk cartons. The child has had to move from apartment to apartment and never had a real place to call home. So, other than the grammatical mistakes here, you have a good idea here, you have a good sentence at the end, and you have quotes, which is essential. The fact that it is normal for children to have one home for most of their lives, here, there is right, because you're referring to children, you're referring to a plural noun, so it's correct, is another reason why the child on Mango Street would want to have a real home. Having a home is a form of normality. They, no child, that no child should be deprived of. When talking about having a real house, comma, the child mentions wanting, and then quotes excellent, a real house that would be ours so we wouldn't have to move every year. All a child wants to do is fit in, and when they don't have that form of normality, they feel like an outsider. Again, you have your pronouns wrong. All a child wants to do is fit in, comma, and, because I have two complete sentences now. And when that child doesn't have that form of normality, or when he or she does not have that form of normality, the child feels like an outsider, or he or she feels like an outsider. Feeling like an outsider is something no one wants to experience. And if they do, and if a person does, and if one does, not they, because you're talking about no one, all that person wants or will want is for that aspect of their life to be like everyone else's. Now, you can never have their and life together. It's either their lives, or a person's life, or a child's life, or his or her life. So if you're going to talk about one life, then you're talking about a singular pronoun like his or her, or a singular noun like the child or the boy or the girl. If you're talking about plural, if you're going to say people, for example, then you have to say their lives. Final paragraph, your conclusion. Always hearing what a real house should be, never having one, and wanting some form of normality are all reasons a child would want to have a real home. Excellent. You restated the three reasons clearly in the beginning of the introduction. Looks good. You could have started with a quote or end with a quote if you want, but it's good that you summarized them clearly in a short sentence like this. Feeling like you can almost reach something but never reaching it is an awful feeling. And by only hearing about having a real home, the child on Mango Street wanted to have a normal house. Never having what more children consider normal is also why a child would want a real home. Dreaming of having a real and normal house is something anyone would want if they didn't have it, and no one wanted, or no one wants, no one is singular, to be deprived of being able to attain them. What is them? You need to elaborate here. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Deprived of being able to attain that dream, to attain those dreams, to attain their aspirations, something to make it clear to the reader what it is that you're talking about at the end. So basically you summarized the 3 points and then you elaborated a little bit on each. I would have liked to see a closing sentence here that perhaps would have a quote from the story, something like what she said at the end of the story, how now she's in her real home, but she doesn't consider it a real home yet because it is still not satisfactory enough. Something from the story that could conclude this paragraph in a little better way. However, it's really good the way it is. Your essay is organized very well. Your thoughts are good. The reasons you have are good. However, there are a few grammar mistakes, especially those recurring mistakes, because these are the things that I really worry about. If you're going to write an essay on the test and you're going to have all these theys that are wrong, all those pronouns that are mixed up, it's going to be in every paragraph. As you can see here, almost every paragraph has the same mistake. So this will be a little frustrating for your readers, and that may affect how they look at your essay. Okay, so please go over the use of the pronouns a little bit better. One way to be safe is not to use so many pronouns. try to refer to the child as the child more often. Just use he or she if you're going to refer to a child. If you're going to write a long sentence and it's a general sentence, not talking about a particular person, then it's better to talk about people in general. Use the word people and then refer to people using the pronoun they or their or them. This way it looks better on the test. Okay? Good luck and good job.